evening and good to have you with us in the 9 p.m. edition of the Urban Debate. We're going to put the spotlight one more time on the state of Tamil Nadu that heads into elections. And in this election season, last night we saw a big twist. When Shashikala announced her retirement from politics, a move that not only raised eyebrows but also puts a question mark on the timing of this announcement. And there are now many versions in theories that are coming about. Various experts and insiders have various things to suggest as to why this happened. Maybe when she got out of jail, she didn't get the kind of response she expected from AIADMK or specifically the party cadre. That could be one of the reasons. The sense that she got after she came out that she doesn't have the kind of support that she would have wanted anymore. The support has now, and the cadre has now moved on to backing E. Palaniswamy. Could be a reason. Maybe she didn't want to be the reason for AIADMK's defeat. And instead of having a situation with some shares vote share goes to another party and only lesser comes to AIADMK, perhaps it's just better if she is just out of the way, and that kind of paves way for AMMK and AIADMK to come together. It also allows her to play the emotional card that often does work with the voters. We don't know if it will work this time, but this is the emotional card that you play, that you're giving up your own thoughts and views and ambitions for the good of the sake of the larger party, AIADMK, for the sake of Jayalalitha's legacy, which is the party and not her. So she seems to be playing that card as well. Maybe if AIADMK loses, she is also hedging her own future and her own losses, and then that could become a time for her to return if AIADMK doesn't get it. So there are various reasons. Many also say that this was perhaps a deal brokered by the BJP, by Amit Shah, pressurizing the two sides to come together, and with Shashikala, a convicted person, convicted of corruption, out of the picture, perhaps it paves way for AMMK and AIADMK to come together and then with the BJP beat the Congress-DMK alliance. So that's the one side of the story. What's happening on the other side? The Congress-DMK alliance, well, their conversation and the rift over seat sharing continues. The DMK and Congress both are yet to finalize it, come to an agreement. We're given to understand Congress wants slightly more than what DMK may like to give it. Now, the DMK also has to now recalculate some of what it may have planned in the light of the fact that Shashikala seems to have quit politics. All of this, keep all of this in mind and a lot more, and then let's ask the question. Who has the edge? As of now, as things stand, who has the edge? Is it AIADMK or is it the DMK? And I say good evening to Saravanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Muralidharan S., political analyst, joins us this evening. Dr. Vijay Dharani, MLA and a member of the All India Mahila Congress, joins us this evening. She's the General Secretary there. Narayan Lakshman, Associate Editor of The Hindu, and Mr. Rajashekharan, founder voice of TN and an advocate, joins us this evening as well. Narayan, let's begin with you. As things stand right now, because nobody knows what happens tomorrow in politics, who has the edge?
Well, Tanvi, it depends on who you believe in terms of source, because the surveys that we've seen so far all put the DMK ahead, which is not surprising in one sense, because let's face it, a two-term government is quite a rarity in Tamil Nadu politics, and there is likely to be an anti-incumbency factor. The second reason why that could be true is that while Edappadi Palaniswamy and OPS have delivered governance and policies on the ground to the benefit of the state, they certainly lack the charisma, the tall leadership style of J. Jayalalitha, who is their former leader and whose shadow they had to emerge from. And for that reason, despite performance in terms of actual governance, the people could be quite, maybe even sentimentally looking for something much more. They are used to the likes of Annadure, Karunanidhi, MGR and Jayalalitha. These were people who are up in the stratosphere, and now you have very practical-minded, party men who are running the steering the ship. So I think these factors suggest that the DMK Congress combined might indeed have a lead. But I think that's only half the story. The other half is that with Sasikala out of the picture, as you said, the ADMK could be coming together, could be closing ranks in a way that they could not before. And let's not forget, they have the backing silently of the BJP, which could turn a lot of the wheels without anyone knowing.
Okay, that's how you see two interesting points that you've raised there, and let me actually take that across to Mr. Rajshekharan. Mr. Rajshekharan, with Sasikala announcing that she wants to quit politics, will that at least stop some amount of infighting that's going on, unite the cadre better within AIADMK?
Tanvi, the letter yesterday written by Mrs. V.K. Sasikala doesn't say so. She has stepped aside as of now, maybe till the election results. And the interpretation of her letter can be understood anyway. But fact remains, she has said all should unite and our common enemy is DMK and we must ensure Akka's golden tenure should continue. This is what the letter said. So going by that merits, Sasikala stepping aside in this elections is good. Definitely big news for all. And the ADMK cadres are upset and the AMMK cadres are also upset. And some leaders are openly saying without Sasikala as the General Secretary, we will lose because she not only commands the support of Mukkulathos, she also commands the support of Dalits, Christians, Muslims because she was a collective person who was taking care of all the back office work of ADMK for the last 33 years. So she was the face of almost every next cadre and leader of ADMK alongside of Jayalalitha. So being the case, since she is stepped aside from the active politics, it is advantage DMK as of now. I don't deny the fact that Narayan Lakshman is right. DMK has the edge over and 10 years of anti-wing incumbency is going to help them. And above all, stitching the alliance is their internal job. But if Congress walks out of the DMK, then there is a chance of DMK getting into a turmoil of maybe the secular vote bank. All this will be so many innuendos.
Well, why will the Congress walk out, Mr. Rajshekharan?
No, as on say, I am not privy to the info what is happening inside Congress, but I am told from sources that only 18 to 20 seats, which the Congress is not happy, they may go all the 234 independently because Rahul Gandhi and others in Delhi want more seats, which DMK is not willing, as rightly thought by the DMK president. Last time they gave 41 seats and only 8 was won and all the 32 were won by ADMK. So it is a good strategy on part of DMK. I don't deny the fact. But Congress cadres who are wanting or wishing to contest in more seats is not going to happen this time. If they settle for 20 or 21, because I'm told from sources that ADMK is going to give 30 seats to BJP in Tamil Nadu. So 30 seats for BJP, which is definitely a smaller party than Congress compared to the vote share. So they want to improve their vote share. They want to ensure that they are above PMK.
Okay, so let me take that point. That's a very interesting point. Dr. Vijay Dharani, I am trying to understand why the Congress party believes that you should get a larger share of seats or even as many seats as you did get the last time. Congress's own allies in other states have abandoned the party and are backing TMC in Bengal rather than backing Congress party because they know who's playing better. In the last election in Bihar, Congress's ally blamed them for the loss. So why should DMK be taking chances now?
See, it is not the question of Congress being in any wrong footing because even last time, whoever contested, even DMK, UML, and a lot of Muslim parties and various other parties were allies of the DMK, they all sizably lost. In fact, nearly about 180 seats DMK contested on their own in their symbol last time. So,
Dr. Vijayadharani, we're not able to hear you. Okay, yeah, now I can hear you. We had lost your voice in
Congress
between.
being blamed is, see, Congress being blamed for this is wrong. That's my answer. Particularly last time also DMK contested 180 and secured only 189 seats. So why blame Congress alone? The other allies in the Congress party as well as the other allies also lost many seats. So those things should not be a consideration this time. There's a lot of incumbency insofar as ADMK and BJP is concerned,
Okay.
being in the ruling for a long time. And all these things definitely can be captured. And Congress party, whatever Rajshekhar is telling may not happen. Let him not, he's a past congressman. Maybe he is reflecting the aspirations of other congressmen whom he was with earlier. So he must be knowing certain things. But however, it's where Rajshekhar knows. But however, I'm very clear
Okay,
that
so,
this is going to settle
all
for
right.
a decent figure.
Now,
For
all
a
right,
decent
all
figure,
right.
and there will be an alliance. Let them not anticipate there will be any break in alliance and all. This is not going to happen, and this is not going to make happy ADMK BJP combined. And definitely the Congress combine is going to form the government. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so let me before I get Saravanan in on this, before I get Saravanan in, well, I just want to very quickly also ask Narayan, his view on this. Narayan, the DMK seems to be giving fewer seats to most of its allies, big or small. Is that a prudent thing to do? Should they go with a larger lion's share in this? All bets in.
I think so, and partly, you see, Stalin, while he has some election experience, he's nowhere near the stature of his father in terms of managing alliances, building those compromises, and finding the right formula, the winning formula. So I think he's trying to, hedge his risks by keeping maximum number of seats, 190 or so, to himself, or to rather to his party, because he is afraid that if he hands over too much and the allies don't perform, that is the end of their ambition to take back the government. So I think it reflects to me Stalin's very, very cautious approach. Rather than being bold to say, look, I believe that these alliance partners can achieve this. They are leaders from this area and they have these connections. They will be able to mobilize the votes. An experienced person, leader such as his own father, would have been able to, detect those patterns and make the deals necessary. So to me, it reflects the early sort of rise of Stalin. He still has a long way to go.
All right, let's bring in Saravanan then. He's patiently heard everyone. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. See, first and foremost, when we speak about the alliance with the Congress, ours is an ideological alliance. It is not based out of any political compulsions. In the last 4 years, we have been fighting issue after issue. Those issues brought on by the BJP and the ADMK, they've betrayed the interest of the Tamils. They've imposed Hindi on us. They took away the jobs belonging to the Tamils. They ensured that the due share of revenue does not come to us. They ensured that the OBC reservation, which is the bedrock of the social justice movement, is destroyed. They don't give those. And the ADMK party is a willing ally to remain in power. Everybody is praising that, oh, Mr. Edappadi Palanichami has been in power for 4 years. That is a great achievement. It is made because of the direct support. He is none than a BJP chief minister. What's happening in Uttar Pradesh is happening in the state of Tamil Nadu. What are the policies that has been implemented in Uttar Pradesh is implemented. If you look at the farm bill, no other chief minister, including any BJP chief minister, had welcomed and praised those farm bills. But the chief minister in our state, who calls himself to be the farmer, has supported this bill, said it is a welcome bill. And if you look at the price rise, all these issues, our alliance has fought together. And when we go back and look at 2019, this is the same kind of alliance. all these things, what the analysts, all the independent persons who are offering their opinions, this was the same criticism that was leveled prior to the alliance in 2019. Our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, was able to stitch that alliance and was able to get a spectacular victory. He runs a party which is the third largest party in terms of numbers in parliament in the country. What more does he require to prove his strength? So everybody has agreed that it is 10 years of anti-incumbency, and that is going to be the death knell of the ADMK. Whatever, see, too much of Machiavellian manipulations, the people are going to reject them. Oh, I have done this at the last moment. I have done that. I have ensured she goes out. This guy comes in. It's not like that. People are not going to like that.
But
They want
that's
simple,
you know,
plain, honest
Saravanan,
politics.
but everywhere that's what a lot of people seem to be saying right now, that he has gained. And elections, you could be the leader, you could have led all of the polls in the last 4 years, but those polls won't matter in the last if in the last 8 weeks somebody else takes the lead.
That's right, Tanvi, that's what. See, last 8 weeks, it won't matter, I agree, but we have passed that stage. There's hardly 30 days. I don't think the ADMK or the BJP combined could do anything spectacular that will change the trend. I'm telling you, this is exactly what was happening 1 month prior to 2019 elections. This was the trend. The same trend is found now. This trend cannot be broken. This trend only points to only one thing, that we will win more than 200 seats. And when it comes to Congress, as I told you, it is an ideological alliance, and that ideological alliance is not going to go down the drain just because we have a tiff over a few seats. It's not going to happen. Forget, whoever is waiting gleefully, rubbing their hands, it's not going to happen.
Okay. So let me bring in Mr. Muralidharan. Mr. Muralidharan, is AIADMK, Sans Sasikala in anywhere in the picture a stronger party to take on the DMK? Muralidharan, I think you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ADMK.
Tanvi, can I speak?
Dr. Vijayadharani, I'm coming to you next. Let just Mr. Muralidharan make a point.
Yeah, Tanvi, with BJP, without BJP, with Sasikala, without Sasikala, ADMK is a force to reckon with when it comes to assembly elections. One. Second is last 1 year, you see the track record of Mr. APS. Whatever Mr. Stalin has been projecting as his manifesto, everything has been met. Right from farm loan waiver to 7.5%, NEET reservations for the economically backward. It's not based on, caste or religion or whatever. All these Mr. Edappadi has met. And if you go by 2 days before the Tanti TV poll, which concluded, you go by that, it shows that 1 year ago, there was a gap of something like 20%. Favorite, who's your favorite CM? The difference between Edappadi and Mr. Stalin was at something like 44, Edappadi was at something like 23 or 24, a 20% difference. Now, exactly in February, that has been bridged to a 5% gap. Mr. Stalin is at 44 and Mr. Edappadi is at 39.
That is not the gospel truth.
Edappadi,
what has Tanti TV said is not gospel truth. That is a bogus. They came out with a similar thing in 2019. They were proved wrong.
You should listen to what
Tanti
Mr.
TV
Prashant
was
Kishore had
proved
to
wrong.
say. Sarvana, 1 minute.
You
have
listen to him.
What Mr. Prashant Kishore had to say. Prashant Kishore says, my battleground is Bengal. That's where I feel the heat. In India, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, it's going to be a cakewalk because it's not because of DMK is good, DMK is getting elected. It is because some of the shortcomings from the BJP side, DMK is getting elected here. So there is a problem, yes, in ADMK, which is because of the alliance. So what the national parties, whether it's Congress or it's BJP, need to understand. Now this is a fight between the two bulls, DMK and ADMK. Leave it to them to fight it out. I can tell you, this is going to be a neck and neck elections.
Okay,
And
Dr.
Edappadi
Vijayadharani must respond to that. Before I get in Rajashekharan, Dr. Vijayadharani.
Yeah, see, very important. This combination in Tamil Nadu depends on the ideological understanding between the parties. It's very clear Congress and DMK have come together always, forming a natural alliance on ideological basis. So it doesn't break so easily. As Saravanan said, just for a few number of seats, there will be a good compromise and a decent number of seats which Congress will be getting. And definitely, you can see that the number of seats winning also will be much more than earlier by the Congress party this time. It's going to be definitely in more numbers. and the number of seats that is going to be discussed will be, everything will be more winning seats for the Congress party and more favorable seats. Therefore, it takes a little time for not only settling the numbers, but also to identify the apt seats for the Congress party and the rest of the alliance partners. So this discussion will be over in a day or two, wherein all these coalition parties, alliance parties will come together in one line, and this will be a mega alliance of the DMK Congress combined. There won't be much differences. Definitely everything will be sorted out. This is likely to happen in every alliance, as if it's not happening in the country anywhere else. Therefore, it will settle soon, and we will be facing the elections very effectively.
Of course, in every alliance, there's back and forth, there's negotiation, there is information that is intentionally leaked out to the media to create the pressure, to create an environment. All of that happens, and I agree with you. But the point that Muralidharan is making here is, this is a battle between the DMK and the AIADMK. And just like the BJP, even the Congress should stay out of it. Bow down, get a small handful of seats and let Stalin take the rest of the battle.
Yeah, probably 7 seats.
So that's the
Very
question.
important.
Yes.
Very important. Only one thing I want to answer to this,
Yeah.
Tanvi.
Yeah.
See, very important. I want to answer to this. Tanvi, actually, this, what you call the battle is between ADMK and DMK, of course, it may be there. But without the support of Congress party, it doesn't work. Not just Congress and rest of the alliance partners. And for this ADMK also, their alliance partners does matter a lot. In the absence of Selvi Jayalalitha and Dr. Kalaignar, definitely the alliance partners does matter a lot for both the DMK and ADMK combined. No, ADMK, DMK, both the alliances, definitely it does matter. They cannot ignore, and definitely it's going to settle between all the parties. So why hurry up? There are still more days. We have to wait and watch.
Okay.
Tanvi, can I just say something?
Yes, Narayan, go ahead. Saravanan, I'm coming to you next. Yes.
So I just want to make the two brief points. One is that it is not only election calculus. Yes, election calculus does matter. Alliance politics does matter. And the power vacuum from leaders, tall leaders of the past not being there does matter. But at the same time, I think the more interesting question from a politics point of view is that the country and the state, Tamil Nadu state in particular, have to make a choice between what kind of politics and leadership they want. Do they want the leadership of the AIADMK style blended with the BJP, which is all about Hindutva politics, and the AIADMK has no more tall leaders of any kind. It did not have an orderly succession plan after Jayalalitha's passing. Or does it want a leader of the stature of Stalin who, along, as they said, with the Congress, has taken a firm position on constitutional secularism and is standing firm with their values? So it is a very, very fascinating political science question. And the youth of Tamil Nadu are also going to play a big role. And they are going to decide on value-based politics. Or do you want the muscular Hindutva style, which is all about focus only on the economics? Yes, we can give you some jobs and all that, but we also stand for Hindutva. So to me, that is a very, very common question.
Yeah, Tanvi. Can I come in, Tanvi?
Yes. Okay. One by one. Everybody seems to want to make a point on it. Saravanan first, and then Mr. Rajashekharan.
Yeah. See, I cannot. I cannot agree more.
Gets involved in Hindutva.
Okay, Saravanan, please. Yes. Let your ally speak. Let your ally speak, Vijay Dharani.
Hindutva, take it from me.
Yeah. See, I cannot agree more with Mr. Narayan. He is spot on. He is spot on. That is the issue. That is the issue we have been harping on for the last 3 years. We don't want muscular Hindutva. People will not allow that. And apart from that, when we talk about the alliance calculations, in 2019, DMK was the party which endorsed Mr. Rahul Gandhi as the prime ministerial candidate. Nobody else did that. And then it picked up from there. We projected, we endorsed him, so we gave importance to them in the Lok Sabha elections. The same way, here, now in the assembly elections, our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, is being endorsed as the chief ministerial candidate, and he is being projected by all the allies. So there will be giving and taking, as rightly pointed out by Madam Vijay Dharani. So there is nothing to worry about the alliance.
Okay, Mr. Rajashekharan has a counterpoint. Mr. Rajashekharan has a counterpoint to what Narayan said. Yes.
Tanvi, my humble submission to your viewers and the panelists that what they are talking about ideology. You tell me any BJP man hadn't joined the Congress, or every Congress leader has joined the BJP, every DMK leader has joined ADMK, and ADMK has joined DMK. Where is the ideology? The ideology is only with money. Who has the money power, muscle power is going to win the election. Everybody is
Rajshekar,
taking money.
don't say
You
all
tell me,
these, sir.
all for sitting.
Don't say all these.
No, Vijay
A
Darni.
shifting
Vijay Darni, I know, I'm
energy
better informed.
of an independent
No,
person doesn't
Vijay Darni, I'm
decide
better
the fate
informed.
of a party.
No, Vijay Darni, I'm better
Take it
informed.
from me,
Vijay
Rajshekar,
Darni,
I'm
better
telling
informed.
you. Tanvi,
One minute. Dr. Vijay Darni, let him make his point. Let him make his point. There is much. 1 minute. There is much merit to what Rajashekharan is saying right now about ideologies and politicians. Let him finish. Yes, can I hear Rajashekharan, please?
All the best. No, let me finish. Vijay Darni is trying to prove more loyal than the king, which is not true. Everybody takes money for alliance. In Tamil Nadu, it's open secret. You tell me, for sitting an alliance, the PMK, see, I am telling you, I spare nobody. I hold brief to nobody. I am only speaking the truth on behalf of voice of Tamil Nadu. And people of Tamil Nadu know very well that who is taking how much money for stitching alliance, joining alliance, and who is taking even the voters
Okay.
are bribed. Election Commission, I'm always.
So now we are talking. So I have a question for you.
Tanvi, can I
No. Wait. I am going to ask the politicians on this panel, the political representatives on this panel. Hold on for a couple of minutes. Rajashekharan has raised a very important issue, and I think he is right. And the people of Tamil Nadu also know that.
No, I have proof.
Yes.
I have proof.
And people of Tamil Nadu know about the extent of corruption that goes on. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I'm not arguing with you. I am asking you a question. Tell me this. Then basis what will people of Tamil Nadu vote this time? If it isn't really specifically about ideologies, if corruption also, let's agree, doesn't matter in during voting, what will matter?
Only money. Only
No,
money,
no,
money,
no,
money.
Tanvi,
That's all.
I beg to
This
differ.
is very
No.
shallow analysis. I'm sorry. I can't keep quiet. This is
No,
extremely
I'm
shallow
telling the
analysis. No, Tanvi,
No,
let's
I'm speaking the truth.
clear.
No, I'm
can
speaking the
shout,
truth. I
Rajshekharan.
can challenge, open
Tanvi,
challenge.
can
No,
I?
come on,
there's no
public
point
platform, I'll
shout.
do it.
Okay, one at a time.
Can I
Now,
No, Narayan, I cannot agree for
Tanvi,
whatever
can I
lies you
answer?
say. Come on.
I
Rajshekharan,
don't think it's only money, but let's ask Narayan, what will matter? What will count? Narayan, really, is it ideologies? Are people really seeing this as a battle between Hindutva and secularism?
Okay, Tanvi, let me turn that question back to you. So why is the BJP struggling so hard to make a really strong break into the southern states and West Bengal? Why? If it has completely nothing to do with ideology, the BJP, according to several reports that have come out,
Maybe
is one of the
Tamil Nadu is a
richest
unique
parties.
state. It will take some time.
Okay,
Mr.
Sir,
Rajshekar,
wait,
I
sir.
didn't interrupt
Allow
you.
him to speak.
no interruptions,
I'll
no
interrupt.
interruptions. Come on now, no interruptions. Yes, Narayan, go ahead.
No, it is
All I'm
match
saying
fixing.
is-
Match fixing with DMK and Narayan. What is this? I have my opinion. I have the right.
Yes. So
We
let's
have
hear
also
the
a slot to
counter
say
opinion
it
now.
is finished.
Rajashekharan, we've heard your opinion. Let Narayan give his now. Yeah.
No, so my point by what I raised that to say is that their ideology matters in part. Yes, money power does grease the wheels during election time, but at the same time, not only ideology, but also the charisma, the status of leaders, what they have stood for, their position in history. Are they truly the legatees of the Dravidian movement or not? These are big questions that every voter in Tamil Nadu is dealing with, including the youth. It is a false also to say that just because the youth have mobile phones and they're all subject to social media, they know nothing about Annadurai and Periyar and all of the things they stood for. Yes, that movement has changed. But Tamil exceptionalism, the feeling that every Tamil voter is unique and that the needs of the state are unique, is very much there. Now, I'm not saying that any one party is the one that can deliver that feeling and what the person needs. It could be the DMK, it could be the ADMK. But this is the reason why the North Indian politics, whether of the BJP or even to an extent the Congress, which lost power in 1967, has never been able to make a big footprint in this state. So please don't tell me, Mr. Rajshekar, that values matter for nothing, ideology matters for nothing. That is completely a shallow reading of politics as it's played in India.
Okay, Mr. Rajashekharan.
Tanvi, can I answer?
In the beginning, I told it's advanced.
Tanvi, can I answer?
1 minute. Let Rajashekharan prove his
Tanvi,
point,
I have a
please.
question.
Yes. Let Rajashekharan prove
Tanvi,
his
I
point.
have a question. I have a question.
Yes.
I too have a question.
Okay, I'll come to you next, Vijayadharani. Dr. Vijayadharani, I'm coming to you next. One at a time, please. Just Rajashekharan. Yes, what are you saying?
I too have a question.
See, there are umpteen number of proofs written in the national press and regional press, including Hindu, that how many boxes of money was given to Stitch Alliance. Let Narayan rebut that on merits. I am only quoting what has been in the public domain. I have nothing against anybody. So money plays an important role. Of course, everybody, some party has taken on record. For example, the communists from DMK, they have taken 25 crores.
No, so Mr. Rajashekharan, the point is right now not what the money that gets exchanged between politicians or political parties. The question right now is, what are the people going to vote on? If the people are not going to vote on ideology and they don't care about corruption, what are they going to vote on?
Yes, I'll tell you. Election Commission of India should not fail in exercising their duty and power. Election Commission of India should ensure no political party bribes the voter. I'm strongly accusing the Election Commission for being mute spectator in the past. At least this Election Commission of India should come out strongly and ensure nobody bribes the voter.
Okay, point taken. Now, okay. Now I think Vijayadharani has a question. Yes, Dr. Vijayadharani.
See, it's very clear that without an ideology or without a careful understanding of the people's attitude as to what they really require after a span of 10 years of anti-incumbency against the ruling parties, not only in the state but also in the center, should we not go into those issues in the elections? Will the people not think about it? Is the money is the only issue that's going to play a role? That's wrong. Even ideology shifting of parties, what Rajashekharan is attempting to say is, people shifting of parties is not on ideological ranks but on taking money. But I'm asking
I mean, it definitely can't be on ideological ranks, right? It definitely can't be on ideological ranks when people go from one party to the second, to the third, to the fourth. When people spend 10 years, 20 years of their lives in one party fighting the one rival and then 20 years later abandon the ship and go to the other side. Today, apart from what's happening in Tamil Nadu and the exit of Sasikala, the other big talking point is Suvendu Adhikari taking on Mamata Banerjee in the same constituency. Where are the ideologies? What ideology has he abandoned to go from TMC to the BJP? And that's happening across political parties. Those who abandon the Congress to go to the BJP or the other way around. So politicians don't have ideologies. People may be linking certain parties with a view at one point of time. Muralidharan wants to make a point and then to Saravanan. Yes. Muralidharan.
1 second, 1 minute. My turn, sir.
1 minute, please. I have heard. Let others also speak. Mr. Muralidharan, please. Yeah.
See, you can't malign everybody with money, Tanvi. That's one reason. There are reasons why people switch sides, because there could be a person who's with a lot of corruption issues and cases which are pending. To save himself, he will join another party which is likely to come to power also. So all this is there. But I would like to take a point from what Narayan Lakshman mentioned about states which are like, why BJP is struggling hard. In states like, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, it's because of the literacy rate. The simple reason is today, if you're a social media user, you get fed with information. That's artificial intelligence. The person like Prashant Kishore was not paid 380 crores for nothing. He has a job to play. He had a role to play. That 380 crores was spent on the social media. There are a lot of social media users in Tamil Nadu. They were fed with information that they should see, digest, and they should get convinced with. This is where BJP failed. They failed tremendously because there was a Modi and central government hate which was spread through those messages, and they have bought huge mind share. This is about artificial intelligence. I don't know if everybody read about the book by Mr. Raju Malhotra. It talks about all these. This is what it is. So they have reached out to the masses. That's what Prashant Kishore did. I mean, it's 380 crores. It's no joke. It's huge amount of money spent. Nobody realized the effect of it. People are only realizing it now. But having said all that, Edappadi is giving a good fight without with all those shortcomings. He is still giving a good fight. Now the matter here is people like BJP or its Congress, they need to pull up their socks and come and support these parties to win the election than sitting and haggling about 2 seats here, 2 seats here. I can tell you, even if you get 20 seats or 30 seats, whether it's DMK or whether it's Congress or BJP, they will not have that many candidates. They will not have that many biddable constituencies. It's all, it's like, I want to show my power. BJP wants 20 seats. I am laughing from, yesterday. Why do they need 20 seats? Whom are they going to field? That's the point, Stanvi. Money is there. Money, without money, nothing happens. Last year, we know in the last, parliamentary elections, DMK did pay the communals, the VCK, all of them 25 crores. It's out in the open. But that you can't malign everything with, saying that, it's all about money and there's no ideology. No, there is amount of ideology also. Without that, you can't fight elections. For example, Hindutva is ideology for BJP. Similarly, secularism is for DMK. Both of them, cross the line. Most of the time, DMK end up abusing Hindus, and BJP end up,
Okay. So, but will alliance will BJP hurt the AIA DMK, Narayan?
Yeah, I think it potentially could, Tanvi. And the reason is, as I said before, Tamil Nadu has this history of nationalism, religiosity. It's a very, very deep history, and it is in the collective psyche of the people right now. At the same time, it's not only about secularism. It's also about people worrying that the stature of leadership of EPS, OPS combined is not enough. That's why you had this huge ripple effect the moment Sasikala came out of jail for a 24-hour journey. Then the party itself got very nervous and tried to lock her out of that memorial, attending the memorial on Jayalalitha's anniversary. So they are men in search of stature. And the people of Tamil Nadu are quick to catch on. Why are they latching themselves onto the BJP? Not just because of its money, not just because of some Hindutva politics. The BJP runs a presidential style of politics. Every constituency across the country where they're contesting, they only talk about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It's a one-man show. Maximum, they allow Amit Shah some mention in their campaigning. So the ADMK is automatically leaning towards a party which has a powerful leader, and that's because they lack it. I totally agree with Mr. Muralidharan and others that EPS, OPS have done a lot of good work on the ground. But unfortunately, today, that is not enough. Like I said, the fight for leadership involves not just your performance in terms of governance. It involves money. It involves charisma. It involves all of these things in different measure. And the ADMK has come up short in one of these important measures.
So, how is it that, Saravanan, where AIA DMK falls short, will you be able to replace it? What is it that what is it that Stalin has to show to say he can do what Palaniswamy couldn't?
Yeah, see, when we speak about what we could do, I would like to cite what we did way back in 1996. See, we had the information technology policy. Our great leader, Dr. Kalaignar, brought in the information technology policy for the state of Tamil Nadu in 1999. That was almost some 20 years back, and he built the Tidal Park, which has ensured that Chennai has become the software capital of South India long before Bangalore. This is made possible because of the vision. People of Tamil Nadu know what he can deliver, and only because of that, only because of all these policies, there is a lot of employment that has been created in the state of Tamil Nadu, and prosperity of Tamil Nadu has been ensured, and industrialization. In DMK's regime, we had a lot of industries, Foxconn,
if that's true,
other industries. All these industries have come in. Wait, sir, allow me to speak. All these industries have come into play.
One question I have.
No, allow me to speak.
Okay, you speak.
So all these industries have come in because of the long-term vision by our party. And the people of Tamil Nadu now understood in the last 10 years, this government, this ADMK government does not have any one single big scheme which they say with proud, this is what we brought in. If we ask the
Like
DMK in
18-hour
5
power
years,
cuts.
we brought in metro rail. Metro rail in Chennai, metro rail is
18-hour
zipping
power
across.
cuts, Saravanan.
That is because of the long-term vision of our leader. We brought in metro rail. Jayalalitha was batting for monorail. She said metro rail is a bad scheme. Now they had no other choice. They say metro rail is our scheme. We brought in the new secretariat. We brought in the biggest library in Asia to Chennai. So these are the kind of schemes which we have delivered already.
Okay.
And when our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, was the mayor, he built so many flyovers. And those flyovers ensured that there is
18-hour power
no
cuts.
traffic jams in the city of Chennai. But these people, this combined, what they have done is they have indulged
ADMK
only in
has
corruption.
ruled-
We
ADMK has
have
ruled
check
Tamil Nadu
dams
for 33
collapsing.
years, sir.
We have
You
check
only
dams
ruled for 18
collapsing.
years. Doesn't
We
that
have check
show
dams
who's
collapsing.
fighting here?
We have check
Who
dams
served the
collapsing. We have bridges that are collapsing. We asked the chief minister, what is this all about?
33
They say
years of
the
rule,
bridges
sir.
got fever.
That's why Tamil
The
Nadu
bridges
is number
got
2
fever.
in the country.
Will you shut up for some time? Will you shut up now? Will
No,
you shut
you
up?
can't go on like this, Mr. Saravanan. 18
Who
years
are
of
you?
the rule
Who are
versus
you?
33
Who
years
are
of
you, man?
the
Who are you?
cannot.
Who are you?
Okay,
Who are you?
okay,
The
okay.
anchor has
Calm
told
down.
me.
Everybody
Shut up
calm
now.
down. Calm down. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Mr.
so-
Muralidharan,
so
let him
these-
finish
these-
his point,
no, no.
please. There is no need to
Yeah.
interrupt him like that. I'll give you your time when you want to, if you want to defend the AIADMK.
yes.
Let's have one finish.
Yeah. So these are the schemes that we have brought in. And during our regime, the industrial growth and the economic growth was very high. In the last 10 years, it has gone down. And the way, what Mr. Narayanan said was that they were bringing in muscular Hindutva, not just propaganda.
No, but
the policies. That is why
Saravanan, I wasn't asking about your party's credentials. I was asking about your current leader's credentials.
Yes. You see, both of them are not different. There is no different. He was the deputy chief minister. He was the mayor. I was talking about the flyovers. He was instrumental in bringing the metro rail. And the last 10 years, what have they done? They have built bridges. They have built dams that are running away with the water. That is corruption for them. And if you look at the growth, the BJP's policies are being implemented.
Yeah.
The national education policy, draft national education policy was brought in. At the time, they said 5th standard and 8th standard, we will have examinations. It was a draft policy, but Tamil Nadu government passed an order, said we will have examinations for 5th standard and 8th standard. That is how they ensured that they stayed in power, by betraying the interest of the people of Tamil Nadu. They gave the jobs to North Indians, the jobs of Tamil people. They made an amendment. The deputy chief minister made an amendment in Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission and ensured people who are not domiciled in the state can also write for the TNPSC. And now we are having in the banks and every other place North Indians speaking Hindi and trying to impose Hindi. So this has created that there is no place for the Tamils. The ADMK has done this deliberately to ensure that they stay in power. So this is the difference what I'm saying. When we come to power, we have already said
Okay.
we said,
Quick response from Mr. Muralidharan. Yes.
Yeah, Tanvi, ADMK ruled Tamil Nadu only for some 18 odd years. The DMK, the ADMK has ruled Tamil Nadu for something like 33 years. Okay, that itself shows who has contributed for this state to be number 2 in the country. As simple as that. What is Mr. Saravanan talking about?
That is no logic, Mr. Muralidharan. By that logic, everybody should agree that India's progress is all thanks to Congress. But the BJP would like to believe that nothing happened in 60 years. Don't use that logic.
Wait.
Tanvi, you have made us feel proud. Tanvi, you have made us feel very proud.
Okay. Yes. Mr. Muralidharan. Yeah.
If ADMK has not contributed, state cannot be number 2 in the country. One. Second, Mr. Saravanan talks about industrial development. 18 hours of power cut, he has forgotten. One. Okay. Now these are the facts, which he wants to brush it under the carpet and say we did all these and ADMK did not do anything. Now that's contrary to the fact, right? What is
tell me what the ADMK has done in the last 10 years. Tell me 10 schemes. I can list 100 schemes what the DMK has done. Can you do it? Do it. Tell me 10 schemes what the ADMK has done for the prosperity. What the ADMK has done? What the ADMK has done in the last 10 years? Tell me. I'm asking you. Tell me 10 schemes. Tell me 10 schemes. Can you tell me 10 schemes what the ADMK has done in the last 10 years?
Whatever manifesto you had,
that's what we are saying. He copied. He copied. He does not
ADMK
even have
fulfilled everything.
original ideas.
Sir,
He can only
you
copy.
don't have to make
He
a
does not. That is
manifesto.
what Mr. Narayanan
You
said.
don't need
He is not a
election
leader of a
once
tall
in
stature.
Now,
He
come
is
on,
not a leader
Saravanan,
of tall
you got
stature.
really
Nothing
angry
wrong
when
with
he
that.
was speaking, and now you're interrupting him.
He
Let
is
him finish
asking
his
me.
point.
Tanvi, he was asking me, so I'll have to respond
Let
naturally.
him finish. Let him
I
finish.
didn't ask you.
Okay.
I was
Okay, let
telling
him
you, my
finish.
friend. I was only telling you, my friend. I didn't ask you anything. Last 10 years, what is that you have done? Why were you out of power? 10 years. That's because of the sourness people had on those land grabbing issues and the electricity power cuts. That's why you were kept at bay. Now, what are you trying to say? You brought in all the development in Tamil Nadu, and nothing was done by whether Jayalalitha or Mr. MGR.
I am asking you, tell me 10 schemes.
It is
Tell me 10
Rajinikanth,
schemes.
let me finish. Rajinikanth or Kamala Hassan or even Mr. Stalin, everybody says, I will bring in MGR rule. Nobody is talking about Karunanidhi rule. Why is that?
Who said?
If Karunanidhi
Are
is
you
such a great
crazy?
leader,
Are you really
brought
crazy?
all
Are
the-
you really crazy? Are you really crazy?
For all people, I want to aspire Mr. M.G. Ramachandran. That says who governed Tamil Nadu better. Rajinikanth wants to aspire.
All right. May I, gentlemen, come in here now, and we need to move on from this.
Tanvi,
Yes.
Tanvi, can I tell a last word? Why don't we think of Kamraj rule? It is a fantastic rule. It is equivalent to Dr. Kalaignar rule. Why don't we think about it, even MGR? So
Nobody wants to
we have to think about a rule that is good for the people. Fantastic for the people, like Kamraj rule. Why not? All others follow. MGR or Dr. Kalaignar, everybody follows. So we have to think of a rule that is good for the people, not a corrupt government that is there for the past several years and a corrupt government there before, wherein the Chief Minister herself was in the jail. All these things we have to keep in mind.
Madam, this is exactly what Mr. Amit Shah said. 2G, second generation of Marans. 3G, that is, DMK family, the third generation coming in. And the 4G is the Congress family. That is nepotism, madam.
Who's Jay Shah? Who's Jayavardhan in ADMK?
Mr. Murli, I just wanted to tell you, in the forthcoming parliament elections, you will see a Rafael G. That also will be there. Not now. After the BJP rule is coming to an end, you will see a Rafael G and so many other G.
Madam, when we
in
get
that,
to an end,
wait for it.
you don't have a party in
Every government comes in, there will be so many Gs. All these Gs
Madam,
will
you're
end up
out
into
of power in most of the states.
No case. Where is the case? Have you done
Ma'am, there
anything
is
in this?
Congress.
Have anybody has done anything in this? Are there any
There
cases?
is Congress.
Are there anything attached to this? Any legitimate claims attached to this? All this talk in the last parliament elections?
How many states are you in right now, madam?
Are there any evidence you're talking about? Huh?
Madam, you're not able to get your seat to DMK. DMK is not respecting you. What are you talking? DMK, your own partner is not respecting you or giving you the rightful number of seats. What are you talking, madam?
You don't bother about all those. We know how to sort it out. You don't bother about all those.
You are calling yourself an ADMK supporter, but you are not able to list out 10 schemes what they have done in the last 10
Okay,
years.
let me please move on and go to the two panelists who've politely now heard everybody out and must come back into this conversation. And I have a question for them. And so I'll start with Narayan and then I'll go to Mr. Rajshekharan. Narayan, we're given to understand, and what Congress had about 40 seats last time in this alliance between the Congress and the DMK and the others. This time they themselves are expecting lower, perhaps 30, but the DMK doesn't want to give beyond 18, max 22. Is that a smart decision to take away or to give lesser number of seats to the Congress party? And I ask you this question now in the light of what's happened on the other side, with Sasikula backing out and paving way for Palaniswamy to be the only lead.
Look, firstly, I do respect what Saravanan and Dr. Vijayadharani said, which is it is an alliance matter and they will work it out. And they're also correct to observe that there will always be tensions, give and take. That's a very normal fact of alliance politics across the country. Having said that, I think Mr. Stalin can go one of two ways. One, he goes all in. He believes in himself as a leader. All the things that Saravanan said, he believes that he can deliver that. And therefore, he holds on to the number of seats that he wants, 190 or whatever he wants to contest. I think there he was actually putting his neck on the line and he's saying, okay, I will face the test of the people, the acid test. And this will prove to everyone what kind of leader I am. Now, does he have the courage or the willingness or the calculus to do that? We'll have to wait and see. The other way is if he does realize that the ADMK is also still not really very strong in terms of its footing, and he wants to spread his own risk, he should definitely give more seats to the Congress. He should give more seats, in fact, to the others, VCK, others who are aligning with him as well. Because then he has a chance regionally as well. In Tamil Nadu, it does matter which state, which party is contesting in which locality, which districts. So just holding on to all the power does not make sense from that point of view. So if he wants to be more hedged in his risk, if he wants a better chance to trust in his allies and deliver that way, then he should go further out. So really what happens ultimately will be an acid test for Mr. Stalin. It will tell us the kind of leader that he is going to be.
Okay, interesting. Mr. Rajshekharan, what is your own sense? Is this the right time for Stalin to take on a bigger share and, go and prove his mettle?
See, Tanvi, as rightly pointed out by your panelists, Narayanan, and Saravanan, Vijay Dharni, and Murli, Murli is a hardliner right-wing supporter. So no point in taking his opinion to this DMK alliance because he'll definitely speak against DMK and Congress. But fact remains, the ground reality is advantage DMK only. I would openly say, though I'm not a fan of MK Stalin and supporter of DMK. I have always supported
so my question to you is,
and their courageous move.
My question to you is, between the DMK and the Congress, should the DMK given to Congress's demand of more seats, give them 30 seats or 40 seats, or actually increase their own share? And if they do have a better chance at winning, then let it be Stalin's victory.
Yes, I would say if they are serious to win the elections and ensure they are going to form the government, Mr. Stalin will definitely succumb to the pressure what he is undergoing. But because he cannot take the risk, 10 years out of power, and DMK cadres and leaders are desperate to clinch to powers because it's quite natural. Politics is game of survival and power. So Stalin will definitely agree with whatever Congress demands, and 30 to 35 seats what Congress may settle. That's what I understand. And BJP is going to get 30 seats from ADMK. So anyway, whatever they get, its advantage as of now, it is at ground, its advantage DMK. And let's see, the 30 more days to go, and anything can happen. Lot of twists and turns expected in the days to come and weeks to come. So
okay.
I wouldn't say that this will happen, that will happen. That is not my wish. I only wish something good happens to the state of Tamil Nadu and the people. A corrupt-free government should be at place. And I definitely don't agree that Edappadi Palanichami didn't get the mandate. It was Jayalalitha who got the mandate. And he is enjoying in the whatever he is now today only because of Mrs. Shashikala, not because of Jayalalitha also. It was Mrs. Shashikala who made him the chief minister. And of course, he backstabbed Shashikala. That is their internal matter. Today, Shashikala has stepped aside just to say that she is not going to fight against ADMK and two-leaf symbol.
For now.
So going by that, the sentiments are running very high among the cadres of AMMK and Shashikala followers.
Yeah.
They may also get upset with whatever Edappadi has done. So this all is advantage DMK only. So,
well, they may get upset, or they may all get happy and get united and come under the same umbrella and fight together simply to stop the DMK.
No, I don't think so.
If the emotional card that's being played is that I back off just so we can unite to stop the DMK, who knows how that will work for the cadre. I'm completely out of time, but thank you so much to all of our panelists for joining us on this conversation. Really appreciate you taking your time. Well, the fact of the matter is it has become a lot more interesting. And it isn't going to be a clear one-sided match this time around in Tamil Nadu, despite the fact that AIADMK has now been in power for 10 years. And it's one of those states, just like its neighboring state of Kerala, where almost every 5 years, voters would pick the other side between AIADMK and DMK. But that's not happened the last time. At that time, Jayalalitha was alive. Today, she is no more. Neither is Karunanidhi. Who will the voters choose next is the big question. Thank you so much for joining us.